What did Yoda mean when he said, do or do not? There is no try. This is a famous quote from the series Star Wars. And this is a quote that has more wisdom in it that can change your life for so many people. And many times it's the missing block for people because so often people are trying. They are trying to accomplish their dream. They are trying to attract love. They are trying to get that job. They are trying, and the trying is the thing that is actually blocking that thing from being allowed into their life. So don't try. The key is do or do not. Now let's look at why trying and what it even implies resistance-wise, because think of the energy of these two scenarios. Back in 2017, when I was starting on YouTube, there was a couple months where I was trying to be a YouTuber. I was trying to make videos. I was trying to put myself out there. But then in February of 2017, I simply decided to do it. I decided to be it. I took the try out of the equation. Because what I realized the trying was a resistance and a completely different energy. Like these two realities are different energies. Was I being a full-time YouTuber? Or was I being someone that was trying? Now, trying is resistance, and what trying implies an attempt with failure, with a energy of failure that is inside it that infuses it on the situation itself. So trying is literally a different reality energetically than someone that is just being it. It is almost like there are other alternatives to someone just deciding to be it. Now, even when you say that, it's like, okay, so I'm going to be more forceful. I'm going to say, okay, I'm not going to try to get that job. I'm going to get the job. But the challenge with this is that there is then an attachment to outcome. There is an attachment to the outcome versus just being it because it's who you choose to be. So with this, you want to think of it energetically as there's a way to balance out these different energies within yourself. You want it to be equal to your identity. Like, for example, let's get something as an example that is very easy for you to do that you probably don't question yourself on this. And it'll help you understand this in a completely new way to understand the power of the naturalness of your identity. If I were to ask you right now to go over to that of your cupboard and to get yourself and pour yourself a glass of water, would you try to do it? Would you be like, okay, Aaron, I'm going to try to do that? And then you go over there and you pick up the cup and you're like, okay, I'm going to go try to fill it up with water. And then you go over to the dispenser and you fill it up. You're like, I'm trying it right now. Doesn't that sound silly? Because you're like, no, I'm not going to try to get a glass of water. I'm just going to do it. Well, it is natural for your identity and your belief system that you can do that. Because one, you've probably done it before. Two, it's within the realm of what you believe is possible for you. So anything you want to accomplish in your life, understand there is a version of you where it is natural for you to be that version of you. Where you pouring a glass of water is not some big old thing on a pedestal. It is something that is natural. It is something that is easy. It is within your natural belief system. Now for myself, there was a version where I was being the version of me that was trying to make YouTube videos, which also implied a level of resistance and lack and attachment to outcome because what if I fail? But then what I realized is I'm not doing it to get a specific result. I'm doing it because it's who I choose to be. One is a means to an end. One is an end of itself. One is because it's natural, because it's who you are, and one is because of the result you will get. It's like if you get that glass of water, you're going to be even more epic human being. You're getting an award for it and put a gold star right on the fridge right next to your name. And then if you really wanted that, you'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to get something from this. instead of just drinking it because it's natural for you to drink the water to hydrate yourself. And you could say, well, hydration is an outcome, but it's also just natural for your sense of survival, maybe. So understand that there is someone that has what you want. So if what you want and what you're trying to do, you could say, well, I don't believe that I can have that. There is someone out there where that is natural for them. And if you use your imagination to embody the characteristics and the skills and the decisions that that person has made, you can begin to program that within your own body. Like, for example, it is very natural for me to make YouTube videos. I'm not trying to make a YouTube video right now. And if I were to sit here and try to make a YouTube video, you would see that I was really trying to do it. Is it good enough? I'm attached to the outcome. Do you like it? Can you like this video? Trying energy. There's a difference between the vibration of trying to the vibration of being. Now, this video, it's natural for me to make. It's a natural part of my sense of identity. Now I'm moving more into doing live events. And I could say, well, and I've been doing live events for the last year. I've done events with 100 people up to a few hundred people. And I remember even when I was thinking about it in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna try to do this. It was unfamiliar. The first one or two I did was unfamiliar. However, eventually what happened is the more I did it, the more familiar it became and the more natural to my sense of identity it is, the easier it becomes over time. So do or do not. There is no try is understanding that you can let it be natural for your current identity to be that version of you that you are being. Without attachment to the old story as well. I think that's where we get caught up a lot. You can let go of that old identity and understanding you are who you choose to be right now, and you can let it be natural for you. You can let it be natural by not insisting in the past, not insisting in the old reality. So when you think of this, and when you connect to the version of you that's already the version of you that you prefer to be, understand that it is natural for that version of you to have whatever it is you have. Whether it's the ideal relationship, whether it's the job, the money, the abundance, whatever it is, it's natural. It's not this really cool thing on a pedestal. It's equal to the identity. I've seen many people over this last year shift from trying into being. I've seen people even on social media where they for one moment they were trying, and then all of a sudden they started being and doing, and then eventually their reality shifted. Now understand, for your reality to shift, you have to be the one to give yourself permission to do it or to be it. Because waiting for someone else to give you permission is being stuck in a reality where you're waiting for authority to tell you what to do. Sometimes that might feel very familiar from childhood. But back in 2017, when I was waiting, I was trying, I was waiting for someone to tell me to go for it. And funny enough, think about that. Someone tells you to go for it. Basically what happens is that's saying, the authority is outside of myself and you have the authority because I trust you. And because you said this, I'm now going to give myself permission to be it, to do it, to stop trying. And in 2017, I had these grandiose visions of meeting Tony Robbins or Bob Proctor or these other people that were going to see this potential in me and go, Aaron, you're worth it. Go for it. Do it. You have it inside of you. And funny enough, I waited. And then eventually, I got tired of waiting. And I said, I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm going to give myself, I have to be the one to give myself permission. I have to be the one that's not waiting for mom and dad to tell me to stop trying to start being. And as I gave myself permission, reality began to change. Because remember, all reality does is mirror back to you the energy you're embodying. So if you're going to say, I'm going to try to be this kind of person, the universe is going to give you a reflection of you trying to be it, when trying means an attempt to fail. But if you make the choice to just be it, like you're going to get a glass of water, you realize that everything in reality is much more flexible than you thought. The only reason there's literally just these stories in your mind. You're like, Aaron, I can't make like attracting love as easy as getting a glass of water. In your mind, why can't it be just as equal to your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-identity? Why not? Who says that? Who's saying that inside of you right now? What part of you? Is it the expanded you or is it the limiting you? It can be equal for your sense of identity and reality for you to experience love. It can be equal for you to experience abundance, because naturally it's who you are. You are abundance and you are love. It's just that the belief that you're not, or the attachment to the past, is keeping the same dynamics alive over and over again. So to understand this trying energy, it's to understand where it's even coming from. It's coming from this notion that I'm going to fail, and I'm going to try so that when it doesn't work, I can say, I tried. Even beyond what Yoda said, do or do not, there is no try. I take it a step further. Be or be not. There is no do. There is no do and there is no try. You want to be it because it's natural for your sense of identity. You have to be the one to give yourself permission to be it. By you being it, you will begin to experience that in your reality. I was listening to this thing, or actually reading this quote from a transcript from this session, from this live event from a long time ago, probably back in the 80s. And it was someone that was asking this kind of questions about like the difference in their reality creation and like the power of imagination. And one of the things I realized that I did back in 2017 that helped me become a YouTuber was this 4-step simple formula. It was like 4 steps. It was basically just becoming aware of my sense of self-identity and imagining the version of me that I preferred to be, and then knowing, believing, behaving, and acting as that version of me. Literally carrying that energy with me wherever I went. Not being the version of me that was trying, but being the version of me that was being it. And what I would do is set up the scenarios in my imagination of what it would look like, what it would feel like, how people would respond to me. What would my days look like not being in a 9-to-5 job I don't like? What would my days look like? How would I get up every day? I realized that because I no longer had an 8-hour job to go to, I would make YouTube videos. I would not try to make videos. I just would make YouTube videos. And I made 3 videos a day for like 90 days straight. And I got ahead 3 months on videos because I was making daily videos, because I had like 8 hours a day I was normally at a job. And now I'm living at my dad's house at the time until I got my own house like 6 months later when I first went full-time on YouTube. But what I did is all of a sudden I had all this time. And I remember at first, okay, if I had this abundance, I would shop. At the time, I was like shopping at like Trader Joe's. And I was like, you know what? I want to be able to shop at Whole Foods. That was a big deal for me back in 2017. I imagined myself getting up, making YouTube videos. It's natural for me. And then if I want to eat something, I can go to Whole Foods and I would get these sandwiches there that were like 12 to 15 bucks each. Like a fresh made sandwich. I'd get one of those with like a side of something. What would I get? Like just like their potato chips. I would come back home. I would research videos. I would learn how to make thumbnails. I was learning editing. Like I imagined the skills that version of me had to learn. And I would visualize this, and then I would feel it as if it were happening. Not as if I was trying it. I would visualize it as much in detail as I could, and then I would make the choice after I'd feel it to be it. How can I be that more in my day, even while I have this 9-to-5 job? And then I was being that version of me, not just by visualizing it, but by being it, also taking action. Action is related to being. Trying is not. Trying is tied to an old identity that's afraid of failing. So if you want to create your dream reality, one of the best pieces of advice I could give you is to stop trying. Trying implies an attempt to fail. Trying implies resistance. Trying implies that it's not going to work. It's just resistance, and it's like brakes you're putting on yourself. And just like you don't have to try to go get a glass of water out of your cupboard, you just do it. Like Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. Say, I'm going to try to get a glass of water. And then Yoda's like, no, just do it or don't do it. What are you talking about? It's easy. And it's the same thing for our goals. Everything in reality has no built-in meaning other than the meaning we give it. We give more meaning to doing something else other than getting a glass of water, and that's why there's resistance. That's why there's trying. You could make the choice to do it. You could make the choice to be it. You could visualize it. You can imagine it. You can feel it, and then you can make the choice to be it as much as you can in your current reality. And then see yourself as that version of you. Know it's who you are now. That's what I did back in 2017. And that's what I'm doing now as I'm moving into live events. And it's a fun process. It's also about the process, not the end result. Let it be fun. Now, one thing we're going to be doing with this whole try energy, we're going to be releasing it. There's some more esoteric principles with this when it comes to decreasing the level of importance you give things, understanding parallel reality shifting, of letting go of the past, understanding we recreate the past through the feeling state we're in right now. We literally pick memories out of the past that are related to that. And as you change in the present moment, you literally connect to a different part of your past. These esoteric concepts we're going to be doing in what is called the 21-Day New You Challenge. So if you want to shift into a new version of you in January, it's coming up. We're going to be going through a 21-day process. I'm going to be teaching things I've never taught before. And we're going to be going through a process together that includes live sessions, videos with homework and accountability, a live group, and that of the power of the group dynamic that makes it very magical. There's breath work and other things, but basically you're going to be letting go of the past and being this new version of you. And if you want to do that, then go right now to www.21daynewYouChallenge.com or click the link in the description box below. Join. Now is the time. And also, if you want to learn more about how to shift into some of this, there's a Neville Goddard video that I made that talks about using imagination to be it. I'm going to go ahead and link it right here.